we are now live. We're going to give everybody a chance to start logging in. I like seeing the names roll over on everyone coming in. We have a lot of people that registered today. And Cathy and Emmanuelle, I think that's because of you. They want to know what you guys are doing. So we're gonna give all of those people a chance to start logging in as before we get going here. I will say, as everyone's logging in, welcome. Thank you for coming back to us for another week and another session of staying connected so we can keep in touch with our friends and have a pulse on what's happening in the industry, all segments of it. We're super excited. Next year is our 1 year anniversary, or next week is our 1 year anniversary. We've been doing these webinars now once a week for a year, which is great. Hey, Casey. Casey's always like signing in on the chat box here, which I love. I love hearing where everybody is coming in from, so we know what's going on. And thank you, Betsy, for the reminder. Betsy Cooper with Tour Operator Land. Tour Operator Land has been our signature sponsor of these webinars for a year. So if you don't use Tour Operator Land, whether you're a buyer or a supplier, reach out to Betsy and she can walk you through it. It's a really great tool. And we're excited because I was just talking with Cathy, who she's based in Vegas, and we have an in-person meeting coming up in Vegas at the end of May. And we are so excited that we're going to be able to see each other in person.
Right.
Go West and Tour West, right? Absolutely. So excited. It's like a countdown to when we get to meet in person and see each other. So as people are, the numbers ticking up really fast here, and I know that we're going to have a lot to talk about. So I want to get going. So we can get everyone's questions in. As you're asking questions, please put them in the Q&A if possible. That allows us to look in one place. However, if you're more comfortable with the chat, I will find it. It will just take me a little bit longer. So with that, I am going to ask our participants, our panelists, to actually introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about their company and kind of what they focus on. And I'm going to start with you, Cathy.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So I'm Cathy Williaume, and my company is REVAMERICA Tours. We are open since 2007, so a little time now. We especially do groups from France, and it's usually big buses. I don't really do individuals, so it's big buses, big groups. We do everywhere in America, East Coast, West Coast, the South, everywhere. And this is it for me. Go ahead, Emmanuelle.
I love it. And Emmanuelle, tell us about you, how you're doing in your company.
Hi. So my company is Scenic. I'm based in Las Vegas as well. So you got two French girls living in Las Vegas.
I love it. I love it.
We don't know each other, actually. Funny, just by name.
No, yeah, it's the first time we actually see each other.
Nice to meet you, Emmanuelle. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Cathy. So I created my company 3 years ago. And as well, I just work with the French market. So 100% of my clients come from France. I do tours in all United States, West, East, South, but most of them, I would say like 70% of them is West Coast. And I do tours as well, like moto coach. I don't do FIT, just few. And I'm trying to build some different small tours. I bought a van, so I'm trying to do like tours with 10 people. And as well, I'm developing like, well, I was doing that before, before COVID. They're doing like tours for French people in Las Vegas because I'm as well tour guide. Cathy as well, you're a tour guide, right?
I started as a tour guide in the 1980s in New York. Okay. So evaluate, learning all the country. And then in 2007, with Cyril, we opened REVAMERICA. So, and also I still want to take some tours because I like to be in contact with everybody on the road. And it was my first start. And it helps me to always find new places. You know, we both, you know, try to go, we have like, you know, the basics, and then everybody, of course, try to get their little way around, get little unique places. So we're not 10 buses on a parking lot, and that's what makes you also unique and more, different also. So yes, I'm also a tour guide, absolutely.
So me too. I would say I would talk in the past because it's been 1 year I haven't worked actually. So, but I'm doing tours as well in Vegas for French people. So yeah, is it what we did and what we will do?
I love that. I love the transition from tour guide to creating your own company and running your own tours.
For me, it was actually the contrary. I worked in another tour company before, and I was like in front of the computer and I was building the tours. And I said, it makes no sense at all to build the tour without knowing what's going on the road. So then I learned how to be a tour guide. So it was the contrary for me.
The difference. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, so I think it's important when you know both, you know, because it's easy to go on Google Maps and say, okay, so from point A to point B, it takes 2 hours. But when you're on a bus, on a traffic jam in LA, you see it's different, you know?
Exactly. So knowing we're talking about French groups coming in, generally, you know, big bus loads. And I think, Emmanuelle, you mentioned that you were trying to do some smaller tours. Is that something you were trying to do before, or is that a product of COVID and smaller group sizes?
Oh no, since I'm in the tourism industry, I always wanted to do that. I personally don't travel on a motor coach, so I was why I'm organizing tours that I don't even, you know,
right.
go in it.
Right. Okay.
And most of our like French people going on a bus, it's like I would say senior. You don't really see families or young people because they don't want to be on a 45 motor coach bus. They want something different. They want like really feel what it is to live in America, where they want to. They don't just want to be on a motor coach, go to the Grand Canyon, take a picture, and go back on the bus. No, they want to. I would say that like the immersion, you know, really like being with local. You cannot do
like
that.
A local, yeah.
You cannot do that with 50 people, you know. So we have the motor coach for people that don't know how to talk English. They need a tour guide. But the young people, they know how to talk. They travel backpacking. So if we want to have them, if we want to do tour with them, we have to propose different way of traveling in the United States. And with a van, I mean, I took the van, I drove with people like from 25 to 35, and you can just stop by anywhere, or you don't have to make a reservation for the restaurant. You can just go. It's different kind of travel.
I love that. So Anthony, I would read to you what he's saying, but I clearly don't speak French and absolutely can't read it. So, he's just showing off now. He's just showing off and typing in the chat box in French. But Cathy, you're still doing the big group. So I'm really curious to hear from both of you what you're hearing from clients or potential clients, because we've heard week after week now, once we hit the new year, that the phones are ringing again. People are planning their travel again, or at least asking questions about when it can happen. So what are you hearing from the larger group side, Cathy?
All right. For me, I guess in France, everybody, like I was telling you earlier, everybody is ready since yesterday to travel again.
Mm-hmm.
We have also in France, what happened when COVID-19 hit. What they did, it's pretty much everybody report, I could say like 80% of the people report their tour to this year. So we booked our tours this year as it would go on.
Yeah.
It was going to go on. And so most of the people in France, they're ready to go. Like Emmanuelle said, it's true. I mean, of course, maybe 70% of my clients are maybe a little bit older, but we have, for us, it's really mixed. And these people already get vaccine. They got the vaccine done. It's some people for who the COVID didn't impact financially because they already retired, get their money and everything. So that's a lot of my clients, and they're ready, like I said, they're ready to jump in a plane.
Bet. As soon as they're able. And I'm glad that you were able to push forward a lot of your tours.
Unfortunately, we're waiting to know also what's gonna happen here. When are we gonna open the frontier? When it's gonna be safe to travel? And before that, everybody worked, like in the buses and everything industry, to make sure, and I'm sure a lot of them's gonna support my idea, it's like to make sure that it's safe to come back and travel, like cleaning, disinfecting, and everything.
Yeah. Well, and that brings up, a question that just came in from Pamela, and she's curious as to what both of you have done. Have you had to adjust how you do tours? Have you thought about customized and adjusting your tours since COVID? And is there anything in particular when you're taking these calls about these groups that want to come in that you're preparing them for?
Well,
and what are the conversations you're having?
In my opinion, it's super hard because I have as well, I have like, I had to cancel like 80 groups from April to June. I canceled all my groups until June. And when you ask what I can do about security, feeling safe on a bus, and everything changed on a daily basis. So at the beginning, I was thinking, okay, what I'm gonna do, and I realized that I was working, I was talking with clients, but we don't know anything, So what I'm doing, I'm still booking. It's what I've been doing the last year. Booking, cancelling, because as Cathy says, the French people, we just postponing, So as of right now, the groups that I had in April, May, June, we're booking it for October. Let's see if it's going to happen. But I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait for the borders to open. I'm gonna wait for what's the country said about what we can do or no, what are going to be the rules, and I'm going to apply them, and I'm going to do everything people like feel safe. But as of right now, I'm not gonna tell you, oh, you know what, I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna do that, because maybe in 3 months, everything's gonna be different.
So like hour to hour, everything is different. Yeah.
Yes, it is true.
It makes sense. And I would assume that your clientele have gone through this. They've gone through this at home. They know what they need to do to keep safe. I mean, those are things that has also been a theme of the conversations that we're having, is now we almost know how to live with this. A year ago, everything stopped because we didn't know what we were dealing with. And now throughout this last year, we've learned the protocols that we need to take to keep safe. And I'm assuming anyone that travels within the near future is going to know that as well.
But I can feel, and I mean, I don't know, in terms of responsibility, one thing is sure, it's like, I'm gonna have to ask my tour guide to have the vaccine, Yeah. I'm not gonna work with people that don't have it. I mean, it's terrible to say, but I wanna sleep, I don't wanna be worried that one of my clients in a bus is getting sick because I haven't done enough, So I'm gonna do everything. And if I have to do that, if I have to say my tour guide, you know what, you have to take the vaccine. If not, you will not be able to be on a bus with people. I kind of feel what's going to happen.
Well, and that's been a question from a lot of the suppliers are you going to not only require your employees or bus drivers, tour guides to have the vaccine? Are you going to require your passengers, your clients coming in? to have a vaccine.
For the clients, it's going to depend on on the president of United States, not me. He's going to say he's going to have to say something about that, and we are going to have to deal with that.
Right. So some of the questions coming in, and for both of you, do you operate tours in Canada as well as the US, as well as all over the US?
I do. We do also a few tours in Canada. Yes, we do. But in the situation, it's pretty much the same that with America, because it's not only about, of course, the frontier to open, but it's also knowing, everything changed, like we say, every day with the PCR test and everything. So people, I don't think in France anywhere right now, they only have Europe to travel to certain places. And I don't know what was the restriction with Canada right now, but I think everybody pretty much, because the airlines also have their work to say. And the airlines also will be the one who's gonna tell us if the people's going to be vaccinated or not. They're talking about the passports, vaccination passports, So let's see who's going to demand it, who need it. Everything is going to evaluate with also every day how they're going to decide with the passports, who's going to demand for that passport.
Yeah, I think we'll learn a lot, and we'll still have a lot of things coming down the pipe. To your point, Emmanuelle, rules are changing and new procedures are in place. Cathy, can you share what destinations, that was a follow-up question, what destinations you actually do tours in Canada?
Oh, in the Canada? Mm-hmm. Canada will be, usually it's combined with New York on the East Coast. So usually it's the East Coast, and we go up a little bit in Canada. But then at the time at the frontier, we have to have usually a Canadian tour guide who pick up the group and then keep going on. And usually Montreal, and then they go more like west to the Les Chutes du Niagara, and then to come back. For me, it's always been like the combination with the East Coast that I did, to share a little bit, a few days in Canada, but really just at the frontier.
Perfect. Okay. And Emmanuelle, you were about to say something and I cut you off to ask that question.
No worries. I was just going to answer the question. No, I do not organize tour in Canada because I don't know Canada, so I don't do tours where I've never been. Right. I mean, I've been there, but no, I work with John View. So we do a lot of tours that Cathy was saying, like French people, they do that. Like they go East Coast, arrived in Montreal, and then do Quebec and go down to Boston, New York, Washington. So what I do is John View do the Canadian part and I do the American part.
Perfect. So you have a partner where you split those, which is great.
We do too, yes.
So as soon, and I knew this was going to happen, boom, questions are like coming in right and left. So, and one of the questions is supplier in Vegas. It's Jim, supplier in Vegas, and wants to know what he can do to get information in front of you about his property and what he represents. So in this downtime, like in this last year, have you been looking at your tours and tweaking your tours and adding in new destinations or new areas that you want to visit, creating new tours? Are you, and I guess the short question is, are you looking for new product?
Yeah. Of course. Yes. That's also the wise way to use your time right now. It's if you want to add and create a new places, yes, that's the time that we do right now. And I've been traveling a lot around also Las Vegas to find different new little places. Yes, absolutely. And if anybody, of course, they want to give us, their information to look at it, of course, we will do. Absolutely.
Perfect. Have you, as you've taken this time and reviewed, some of the product that you offered, has COVID affected types of hotels that you use or destinations you travel to? Are you looking for more outdoor activities versus indoor? You know, has it kind of changed your thinking on the way that you conduct tours, Emmanuelle?
Well, I'll explain that. So what I do, it's what I was saying, it's most of my tours, they're moto coach and everything. And I've been trying to develop the small tours with the van. So I think COVID will help me with that. Maybe people, like, instead of being on a bus, they want to go with like friends and family, and let's say, okay, we are 10, let's do a private tour. Or this is what I'm thinking about. Regarding the hotel, I've been traveling a lot actually this year. I mean, I know it's crazy, 2020, but for me, it was a perfect time. No work at all. No, I didn't have to stay in front of the computer or answer the phone for emergency. So I've been everywhere. I'm going to Miami next week. So I'm traveling a lot in order to find new place to go. I've visited all Texas, big part of Texas. So now I want to do new tours in Texas. But for the hotels, I've talked with a lot of hotels. I've met them. It's going to depend, because let's say I have one partner in San Francisco. They just sent me an email yesterday and they say, oh, you know what? We're not going to open in 2021. We're canceling all your tours. So see, I have to find another hotel. So it's the same. It's a daily basis, because hotels, they're lost as well.
True.
So yeah.
And for me, for me, I think I want to be supportive also with everybody that I already work with. I want to make sure if business come back, I'll go straight to them, because I want to make sure that their business can stay open too. But I'm open to new places, because, like I say, it's not that we need only, like Emmanuelle said, we don't need only one hotel in San Francisco. We need to have a few. So it's always great also to meet new hotels, new restaurants, new everything. But I know that first, my priority will be the people with who I work since so long with them, you know, that I will make sure, you know, that I can support them and help them the way I can.
Love that, you know, and that certainly, you know, as we go through, and I think tour operators in general, you know, have moved product, you know, forward and rescheduled as much as possible. So they want to stick with those current suppliers that make up that product, but certainly a lot of room for new ideas out there.
Absolutely. Yes.
One of the questions that came in, knowing that you're rescheduling tours, you're pushing things forward, how are you working on deposits and payments? Have there been challenges there? Did those just get pushed forward as well? And I mean, that's curious as to how you're handling that.
Who's first?
Go, Cathy, go first.
Okay. So usually, you know, like with everybody, we have the D60, the D30, that means 60 days, 30 days, you know, then we put a deposit and everything. It's true that this year, with the situation, everybody is more understanding and take at the last minute, because we don't want to transfer money to send it back, and, you know, vice versa. So right now, for me, my policy is to wait, you know, pretty much at the beginning, that we'll see the situation, if it's secure, you know, because people in France will take also, when they travel, they take now the insurance, the COVID insurance. So we promise them that we'll pay them back everything if they cannot travel. For me, as far as I go, I will wait pretty much, you know, the time that it's for sure that they can travel before to do the payment. Otherwise, I do a deposit to block the rooms.
Got it.
And we did deposit last year for some groups who was coming. And what I did, I didn't take it back. We leave it there. And it's a little advance that I have for when I'm going to start.
Always nice to have that little pad there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also everybody, because you have to think also for them, they maybe already pay their rent, they already used that money. So I'm gonna ask them to give it back to me, to, you know, even send it or whatever. We arrange ourselves to make sure everybody was protected and was secure and also soft, like, you know, no stress.
Right, right. And Emmanuelle, do you have anything to add to that?
I usually don't pay in advance. I mean, New York, it's kind of different, but all the other hotels or activities I work with, they know me. So as I have my card on file, and on the day the group come, they use the card. I just got like 2 groups that were supposed to come on mid-March last year. So I already paid everything. And so some refunded me, others kept the money that I'm gonna use after.
Right.
I'm not asking money to my clients when they confirm a group. So what I'm trying to say is, I think that now if people want to book, we book, and we can cancel last minute, you know, if they cannot travel without any fee or anything. No?
That was going to be one of my questions for you. Is, you know, the question specifically was about your companies and deposits and payments, but what can suppliers do? You know, what are you looking for from your supplier partners when it comes to cancellations or terms and conditions, or, you know, what makes your life easier right now?
I would say flexibility and understanding, because we can book. I mean, I booked a bunch of tours for this year, and I had to contact the hotel and say, sorry, you know, it's not my fault. Usually when I book with my supplier, when I book something, I don't canceling. I know there is like tour companies that they book and they cancel everything after. What I book is what I usually have, and my supplier knows me for that, and they like me for that. But this year, I feel like I cannot keep my word, you know, because I say I book, but certainly I will cancel. And so this is, for me, like, understanding and flexibility is really what I'm looking for.
And Cathy, what are you looking for?
I will add that everybody, and I'm sure for Emmanuelle too, but everybody was very flexible. Everybody was very understanding. Everybody knows that we're booking and we don't know if it's going to go through, if we're going to have to push it back. We all know that. So I think everybody was very respectful, very understanding, very flexible on everything. No. Everybody tried to work to make sure we make it easy for everybody. Let's put it that way.
That's and I think that's,
and even below the 30
right
days,
now.
Even, you know, like for some tours, if we have to wait the last minute to cancel in case that would have any chance they come on everything, everybody's open to that because everybody wants to work. So no, there is good communication and understanding towards that.
So, and another quick question came in and interested in if you sell Hawaii. Do you take groups to Hawaii?
I'm working with somebody we're working on a tour right now with somebody from Hawaii. So I'm starting to look at it. I work on it this winter. That was also one of the new projects for my client. So absolutely, some people, you know, in the webinar have information you want to offer me, I'm taking it. Absolutely. Yes, it's a new destination for me. It
Love
is.
That.
Yes, yes.
For me as well. I was supposed to have tours in 2020 in Hawaii.
Oh. So not only do you sell Hawaii, you had to reschedule groups from Hawaii.
Exactly.
So you mentioned passport, and I don't remember Cathy or Emmanuelle. I think it was Cathy that mentioned a vaccination passport. Yes. That's brought up quite a few questions on if you think that France will require vaccination passports, and I think it's even a broader topic, not just one country, but you guys both specialize in the French market. Do you think that's something that could be of consideration for the
I
country?
think, yes, it can be on consideration. They talk a lot about it. So I don't know, further than that, but I know they talk a lot about it. And I think if they talk about it, that's what we're going to get, and I think, what's going to happen, a lot of countries anyway is going to ask the tourists to be vaccinated. I think that's what it's going to be. That's what we're going towards, So otherwise, you have to do the test before you get in the plane, so 72 hours before you get in the plane. And then you have to do another test when you arrive also, but you have to quarantine. And if you don't want to have to quarantine, you're gonna do the vaccine.
Right. And I mean, I think
it's also what the world is pushing us to walk through, We really feel like, what do they want to do now? What do they want to do now? What they want to do, they want us to be vaccinated to protect ourselves, but protect also the people around. And we can see more and more that we're going toward, that vaccine passports. I hear it more and more. So let's see. If that's what helps us, to be, on the road again, open up the frontier and everything. Like I said, for my clients, they're already a certain age, most of them, not all of them, because, if some of them hear me right now, they will say, oh, but a good part, of them are a certain age. So they're already, the age that they got the vaccine. And like I said, the financial hasn't been impacted by the COVID. So they're ready there. I got the vaccine. Can I travel? I got the vaccine. Can I travel? That's the attitude right now.
I love that.
Sure.
Most of last year, I mean, in addition to moving tours forward and changing dates, not a lot of marketing was going on, right? It was cancellations or reschedule. And the name of the game for suppliers and destinations were just to stay in front of them and inspiration. Most people have flipped the switch to marketing right now. So they're actively marketing and selling their tours. Are you guys both actively marketing and selling right now?
Yes, absolutely. I have somebody in France who do that. And also I have my regular clients with who I work for so many years. And so, yes, we do, but I don't do, well, I didn't do the difference with the years before. I didn't do any shows or anything like that because it's been canceled anyway. So I'm not going towards new clients. I'm working with my clients that I already have. And I'm content with that for now.
Wonderful. And Emmanuelle, what marketing are you doing?
Yes, I'm here. I'm working with my clients. We're working on new tours, new ideas. But I've sent emails, to new travel agents in France, but I haven't done a lot of marketing. It's more like I want to prioritize the clients I have to, like, just, be happy with what you have. And yeah.
And honestly, we've heard that from a lot of people is that, we want people to know that we're open for business, but we have a current client database that we've moved forward so many times on their tours that we need to focus on that. We need to get our base up and running before we start doing the next tour. Looks like we lost Cathy, but I bet she'll log back in a minute.
Yeah, and we need our client to make sure that we're here, we're strong, we are not going to disappear, because it's their fear from another country. Because some of our clients, they sent us money last year, and sometimes a GMC can disappear because if they don't really, like, if they're not good with their money, So my goal was really, I'm here, I'm not moving, okay? I'm just on hold, but as soon as you're ready, as soon as the borders open, let's go. Let's go back to work. So this is really my marketing right now. It's just show them like, I'm I'm strong company, you know.
Exactly. Well, that you're around and still in business, and
exactly.
all because we all have a lot of friends and colleagues that aren't, unfortunately. So one question from Harvey is asking if we will provide company names and email addresses for the panelists. We absolutely will, to everyone on this call. So you can get in touch and share your products that are out there with them. They're happy to share that with you. And Lisa has a great question for you, Emmanuelle. As I think you said at the beginning, your company you opened your company 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Did I get that right? 3 years ago. So how many groups a year do you normally do?
In 2019, I had.
We're not talking about 20. Let's go back to 2019. Yeah.
I had 150.
150 groups?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, I built my company 3 years ago, but I worked before for other companies. And I actually built my company because the company I worked before, it was a totally scam, and they were stealing money. So I said, oh, what's that? I'm going to do my company and I'm going to do a good job, you know?
Right. Right. You knew what you didn't want to be.
Exactly.
Cathy, welcome back. We thought you were just done with us.
Yeah. I felt lonely suddenly.
So one of the questions that came in, and I know you said at the beginning, you opened your company in 2007, but can you remind us about how many groups a year that you do?
Approximately.
In 2019, let's just skip 20 altogether. Yeah.
Around 80 groups, and it's already a lot to manage and work, you know, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's an average, you know, it's an average.
Keeps you busy.
A little bit more, a little bit less, but it's an average. Yes.
Oh my goodness. So knowing, you know, how do you, and most everyone on the call, one of their questions is, how can we help you? You know, how do we, and whether that be on a marketing side, you know, getting information out, trainings, a lot of you know, if you have travel agents that you work with that supply you clients into your groups, you know, who are you doing trainings for them on your new destinations, and how do they get involved in that? You know, across the board, from T's and C's to sending you information, how is it best that suppliers work with you?
To reach out to us, to give us, you know, what they have. And so I'm sure it's the same for Emmanuelle. Then you can see if he goes in your, on your route. You know, otherwise, yes, I have somebody at the office. I have a girl that just do the reservation and everything. And I have a girl who usually look for the hotels, the restaurants, new activities and everything. So yes, absolutely. I'll take anything and I'll look at it. I never let anything pass without to check it up.
So you like emails, and you like to have a conversation with people.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
And Emmanuelle, how's the best way
it's easy to communicate?
I would say it's the same. I always love to learn about new hotels, new activities, or like the other day, like the tourism office of Dallas, she sent me an email, and I checked the airplane ticket. It was $50 a round trip, and I told her, okay, can I come? Can you show me around? So I spent a week there, and she showed me everything. So I love that, like learning about new places, new suppliers. For me,
that's your job.
That's my favorite part of my job, you know. I love that.
You're right.
So, you know, both of you mentioned that you do multiple cities, right? When you put together itineraries, they're multiple city itineraries. What's the average? How many destinations do you visit? And I'm going to take that a step further from Lee's question and ask, what are your primary activities for your group? What is it that your focus is on? What do your groups like to do?
Sightseeing.
Sightseeing?
Okay. Most of them. I have some like niche, like where they come and they do golf, or maybe they want to do dance country, but it's just like, I would say like 15% of my tours. because the tours I have, and I think we got Cathy and French people, they do the same tours. So I'm pretty sure we build almost the same, the same tours. And they come in the West. If we talk about the West Coast, so they arrive in LA and then they go Grand Canyon, Monument Valley, Bryce, Zion, Vegas, Yosemite, Sequoia, San Francisco. So they do the national parks. Or if they go in New York, it's just like they visit New York. But let's say our clients, they don't come to go in Disney World, you know, because let's say we have Disney in Paris. So they really they come to see the
national parks are big. It's true. National parks are really big, you know, so it's the base. We can say that they come for the national park. Of course, Grand Canyon, it's the appealing name, that's what they know. And then between that, I think what we try to do is to give them a little bit of everything, like from the big cities to the deserts to the national parks, try to emerge also with the locals when you sleep in little tiny villages in North Utah or ever. So we try to give them, I would say that, what I would say for my tours, I always tell my clients, if you come on these tours, you're gonna have a good idea that if then you wanna come on your own, you will know where to go, where to stay longer and everything. And if you don't come back, because, you know, prices are kind of excessive too, it's we have to, some of them save for a long time to be able to come, and it's their dream come true. But at least you know that they have a very good idea already about everything's going on. Very good idea. So no matter what, you know, it's a lot sometimes, you know, because of course they wanna see everything. Sometimes I said less is more, because you spend more time to explore a place than doing too much to do like this. So, and then at the end, everybody is frustrated. So, but they're very popular. The tours are very popular, and essentially it's easy to sell. It's really easy to sell.
It's so hard not to want to see a lot of things, right? I mean, it's like when you travel to Europe for the first time and you want to see every country possible, right? Yeah. So you know, the follow-up question there, were the majority of your travelers first-time visitors to the US?
Majority, yes. And I would say that maybe 70% will be first time, but and a lot of them then already came like 2, 3, or visit different places of United States. And so most of them, even if it's the first time, but a lot of them too already visit New York and then come to the West or vice versa. But usually they come back.
That's nice, exactly. So most of them first time, but then you have that repeat.
Yes.
To do multiple tours with. And is that the same for you, Emmanuelle?
Yeah, and I've seen it was Visit USA that gave me the numbers about French people coming in the United States. And it was something around like 80% of them, they come back. There's the second time, third time, fourth time. So that's why I'm trying to build new tours, because the two first, it's New York and the West. So New York West, but then they want to do South, you know, like New Orleans, Louisiana. And we have a lot of people asking now for Oregon, Alaska. I'm building a new tour in Alaska. But this is not for the first time West or New York. It's more like second, third, fourth time. But we need to think about that. And now, because we have time, it's a good opportunity to build new tours.
Right.
Casey up in Minnesota was typing that question of where they go the second time as you were answering it. So I like that, you know, you guys were on the same wavelength.
Yellowstone area as well, Salt Lake City, Denver, Yellowstone. It's a second or third travel.
Mm-hmm. And a question from Lucinda, are you finding that smaller boutique hotels are larger chains are a better fit for your groups? Do you look for something smaller? Do you look for the larger chain? Or did that change because of how you're planning your trips now after COVID?
I would say you have to understand that the French market, it's really different from the American market. I mean, first, the salary in France, it's not the same than the salary in the United States. In France, people have 5 weeks, minimum 5 weeks vacation. So they don't spend what Americans spend in 1 week. They don't spend the same. So our budget, the budget is really, really important. And so sometimes on the tour, like on the small budget tour, we're really looking like for good price. So I mean, not all my tours, but most of my tours. So that's why sometimes it's, I don't look for boutique hotel because I know it's not gonna be on my client's budget. So
I do look a lot for boutique hotels because I have, I'm on a catalog with 2 series where I'm on premium. So I'm the only one in America who has a bus who is first class, you know. So I do also like groups, you know, with a budget who is a little bit, you know, like more like a classical budget, but I do also a lot of boutique hotels in New York, in Miami, in San Francisco, Los Angeles. I do a lot, yes. So me, I'm interested with these boutique hotels, absolutely.
And I guess it's with one group. I think it's like with everyone. It's based on your group. It's based on your budget and really what you're looking for, right? It sounds like you guys both have established tours, but if I'm understanding correctly, you both customize based on what your groups are looking for.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is a horrible question to ask, but I do ask it anyway. You know, what scares you about this year? I mean, we see a light at the end of the tunnel. Is there anything keeping you up at night, moving into this recovery in 2021?
Well, I mean, I'm not working. I would say my company came for like moving around a lot of money to zero. Yeah. So I know that I'm still here, I'm waiting, I'll be there. But this is a little bit scary. So, okay, what I'm gonna do, you know? And so this is about that. I'm happy right now because I already see the light, you know? And because we actually, the help for the government for me was really helpful. So I sleep at night because I can pay my bills, you know.
Yeah.
But this was the scary thing. Or you wake up in the morning and usually, I mean, we're pretty busy. We always have emergency phone calls from the tour guides and everything. So in 2019, I was so busy. I mean, I worked like almost like 7 days a week, like 18 hours a day. And March last year, I got nothing, you know. So I'm saying, wow, what can I do? Because I feel powerless. It's not depends on me. I want to work, but it depends on the president when he's going to open the borders, you know. So I'm here. So this is what's scaring me.
Yes, I think me, of course, we have, you know, we worry because like Emmanuelle said, we went from being very busy, you know, to nothing. So of course, in your mind, it's like a big shock also. I feel secure and I'm not stressed because I know my company is on standby and I'm just waiting, you know, it's like this. I'm just waiting to start again, just getting ready. So of course there is that little apprehension when it's gonna be, when are we gonna be able to start again? Because like she said, it's our passion. That's what we love to do. So we just wanna go out there, you know, let's do it again because it's been a long time now, okay?
I think everybody, you know, The collective included, everyone on the call is ready to travel again, ready to get things moving.
Like she said, Emmanuelle said, the government helped us, so that put an ease on our mind that financially we don't have to stress out. But that's not only that, it's we want to go back, you know, like I said, I'm ready since yesterday. I am. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, me too. 2 weeks ago, I had a friend coming from Colombia, and I told me, okay, we're going to Grand Canyon, we're going to Bright. I took my van, and I was so happy, like, okay, showing around to other people, and I miss that a lot.
Everyone wants to get back to whatever the normal is going to be moving forward. Yeah. Get back to what we're used to doing. And I think Cathy, it was something that you said, you know, you didn't, even in 2019, you were busy and you were working with your group, so you didn't really do a lot of shows. Are you going to be doing shows this year? You know, those that happen in person. Is it something that is more important to you now to get in touch with people to try to get those new ideas?
Yeah, yes, it is. But I think also this year, I have so much to do also with already the clients that I have, that this year I'm not gonna too much stress out because we don't know if we can go back to France to do these shows or not. This year I'm just gonna take it a little bit easy, and I'm waiting that we get back on the road, and then I'll see, you know, my objective from there. But right now, like I'm doing, you know, just getting ready for the season, looking here and there, getting some new stuff out, working on that. And I wait for next year to see what's going to be my move.
Perfect. And Emmanuelle, are you the same way?
Yeah, I was listening at Cathy and say yes, exactly. Yeah, so this year I'm doing shows, but for suppliers in United States. You know, like in May, we see each other in May. I've done.
And thank you, both of you. I will see in May, and I appreciate you joining the event.
I've done Go West. Hopefully, we all see each other in IPW soon. Hopefully, but I'm not going to do a show right now in France. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna stay with my client and see what's going on next year. And yeah, I got the feeling that everybody is doing that, you know. And I think our clients, let's say like Cathy's clients, they're gonna want to work with Cathy because they want to help her, you know. So I don't see why I'm going to look myself for new clients. I don't feel we're in that, you know, like that's how you say that. It's more about like helping each other, like working with the same supplier, working with the client, open back again, having like everything working again, and then let's talk about expanding, you know.
Right. No, absolutely. I completely understand that. Now, I promised both of you that this would go very fast, and we only have 5 minutes left. I mean, I knew the conversation, and I knew people would have lots of questions for you. So we're going to start wrapping up here with our last 5 minutes, but I'm really curious as to what your thoughts are for the rest of the year. I mean, we know you've moved things, we know you've rescheduled things, and we know you have some stuff happening this year. Are you planning, what are your thoughts for the rest of 21 and moving forward into 22?
Vas-y, Emmanuelle.
Okay. I really hope so that I'm going to have some group in October. October, November. I get the feeling that October, November can work out. Before that, I don't know. I know that, I mean, United States, we are going to be ready. I mean, at the end of May, everybody going to have the vaccine. Everybody goes fast here, you know, vaccine 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. France, it's France, you know, it's Europe. So they take it slowly. So we don't know, in case the vaccine they need the vaccine and everything, we don't know how many people will have the vaccine this summer. So we're gonna have to wait for that, because I have no doubt about United States. We are going, you know, as soon as we can, like we're going to run and everything is gonna be like before. But France is different.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping, you know, of course, September, October, November, the second part, what we call the second part of a season. So yes, I'm really hoping, but I'm 50% on it, you know, and if it's not that time, then you know what, let's start in March 2022 and let's do it. What I learned from that, it's we cannot stress over something we cannot control. So let's turn everything in positive, and you know, and like I'm really wishing also Emmanuelle to have a lot of business. It'll be business enough for everybody when it's gonna start again, okay. And without you know fighting for it. I feel it because French people cannot wait to travel again. So let's get ready. And but sincerely, it will. I think it will start strong and steady from next year. This year, if we have the chance to have a few groups coming to just keep us in the mood, back on the road, even if it's not the full season, but you know, a few to make us breathe and feel like we're alive again, you know? And yes, but sincerely, I'm really thinking it will be more like next year.
More next year. So slowly,
yes.
slowly ramping up in the fall this year, but next year, hopefully the floodgates open, yes. and it will be steady.
Because our season starts, you know, like more like March, April, May, June, where it's really big. Me personally, July and August, it's light. It's not where I have most of my business. If I have, 5, 6 tours between these 2 months, that's the must. But then I'm very busy September, October, November. That's very the month where I'm very busy. So I'm hoping, you know, September and October, November, but otherwise I'll be ready in March.
Perfect. Do you have any final thoughts, any words of wisdom for us and everyone on the call preparing for that 2022? Any final thoughts, words of wisdom, Emmanuelle?
Well, I'm following like a lot of like Instagram, Facebook, talking with a lot of French people. They're ready to jump on a plane. So travel will be back for sure. We just need to be patient.
Yes.
I think everybody's getting antsy. We all feel like, you know, a 5-year-old before Christmas morning, you know, it's like, no, we don't want to wait anymore. So Cathy, words of wisdom for you.
For me, yes, be patient. It's, you know, I lived the 9/11, you know, after September 11, our business crashed completely. It took us, you know, 2-3 years to get back on the road. But then when you start, it started good. And I think that's what's going to happen again. It's going when it starts, you know how human beings are. You tell them not to do, they want it. You know, we cannot travel. Yes, we want to travel. So like Emmanuelle said, I'm on the same stand than her. They're ready. They want to travel. I know when it's going to start good and strong. We just need to keep patient and safe and healthy. I really wish everybody to stay safe and healthy, really much.
I love that. Well, I appreciate you guys taking an hour to be with us today. I can't believe it did go by very, very quickly. And thank you everyone on the call for tuning in week after week and continuing these conversations so we can take little tidbits from all of our conversations and make a plan that works best for you, because not everything works for everyone. And that's what these conversations are about. We will be back next week with Get Your Guide. So we'll talk a little bit more about attractions and how they're doing and how they're marketing themselves. So please join us again next week. And until then, have a very safe and healthy and fun weekend.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. You had a great time. Thanks a lot. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Emmanuelle.